Brick Wars really started when I was in college. So I would be home for breaks from school and I'd be playing with different Lego sets I had there. I created a couple short videos, so maybe like 4 to 5 minute videos, nothing too expansive. But they were a lot of fun to make, and I love Legos. I have a really extensive imagination. So recently, I wanted to kind of start making those videos again. So Brick Wars really started from that, and so I sat down and started writing a script, and like the story, I didn't really have an end goal in mind when I was creating those videos. So when I sat down to start writing Brick Wars, I didn't really have like an end goal in mind of where the story was going to go for this film, what was going to happen. So I kind of developed the story as I was writing each scene. So that's kind of how the story developed, which I guess is a little different from a lot of films. Like you write like a story treatment usually and kind of, outline that before you start writing the actual script. But for me, that's kind of like how I developed this film. I just developed the story and kind of changed some things around as I was writing each scene, what made sense, what we could logistically do when we actually shot the film with what we had and the different sets we had, stuff like that. So that's really how it came about. As far as the characters go, Chase is really the only character from those original videos that carried over into this film. Part of it's based on like what we were able to do, what we had access to, what characters, minifigures we had access to use for filming this film. But that's really the only character that came over from those original videos I did. One of the most important things in order for this movie to succeed was getting the characters to come to life. And that was something that I haven't done before. So, like with the old videos I made, I recorded some audio all on my own and added it into the edited shots I had for those videos. But I just shot it all with the characters, with the minifigures, original like little faces, little heads that came with the sets. So you heard the audio, heard the characters talking in different voices, but you just saw like their faces not moving or anything. So it takes away some of the magic, because you don't see them talking, you just hear audio and you know that, they're not actually talking. So that was probably the biggest thing we had to figure out how to do successfully in order for this all to work. And, we got some different softwares that we were looking at, brought in some different people who had a little experience doing this. So we were able to combine the audio with the different voice actors who, got to play around with different voices, make the characters come to life as far as the audio side of it goes. But then with the editing side of it, having software that we could use to make the mouths move, the eyes, different shapes move a little, so different facial expressions, so it looked like and felt like that the characters were actually like alive and actually interacting with each other. So watching finished shots back with the audio mixed in with all the different facial movements, it really felt like you were watching these minifigures talk with each other, which was what we needed to do in order for this movie to succeed. And then also having different voice actors that we were able to bring on board and work with. The recording sessions were so much fun because we really got to like dive into some of these characters and kind of experiment with some different voices and kind of figure out what worked and what didn't. This was the first movie, so all these characters, this was the first time any of us was working with these characters. So we were just starting from scratch, the ground up. So we didn't really have a specific voice in mind for certain characters, especially like Dr. Inferno, firearm, Claudette. Some of the agents, like, they're humans, so, like, not necessarily anything too special with that. But especially those villains, I really got to have a lot of fun with that kind of playing around with some different voices, seeing what worked for the character, for the overall story, and what came across the best when we edited it into the edited shots. So that was definitely a big part of the film and something that was a learning experience for most of us, and definitely something that we were able to succeed in. But the idea for Brick Wars, it really is something very creative, very fun to make, very fun to do. For me personally, coming up as an actor primarily, jumping over to, directing the film, working with the voice actors, working with the editing team, producing. So I really had eyes on pretty much every aspect of this film, which was a great experience for me. Coming over from primarily, performing, acting, so getting that whole lens of seeing each step of how a movie is made. Even a short film like this that, was done all virtually. So we met with different teams over, video chatting, but none of us ever actually really worked in person together. When we were editing the film, we did actually edit sometimes together in person, but for the most part, all the work with the actors, all done over video, nothing ever in person. So it was a very interesting experience on that front as well. But a great team to work with, and getting that experience in each area of the film definitely made me stronger, as also helped me as an actor, seeing it from those eyes as the director, working with editors, stuff like that. So it definitely was an overall great experience. So Brick Wars, it is a great film. I think we have a great story. We have a very talented voice cast, a great crew that worked on the film, and I think it's going to be something very special. I'm so excited that we're so close to releasing it, getting a chance to have the world eventually see the film, see what we created. A lot of hard work went into this, and I'm so excited for everyone to get to see it.